I remember hearing my own voice before I saw anything. A cracked whisper, it echoed from the farthest end of the corridor, curling in the stale air like smoke. I knew I hadn't said a word. I was standing still, frozen in front of shelf D17, with my flashlight aimed at the floor, and yet the sound of my voice came again, distant, dry, pleading. It called my name, just once. Then everything around me turned impossibly silent, as if the air had thickened. The lights overhead flickered violently, and for a moment, just a moment, the silhouette of someone standing right behind me stretched long and shadowy across the opposite wall. I turned. Nothing. No one. Just the smell of old paper, mildew, and fear. That was around 3 in the morning, I think. But time had started behaving strangely down there, long before the voice. The city archive building had always given me the creeps, but the basement, that was a different beast altogether. I'd taken the night shift because it paid better, and besides, who the hell goes snooping around in yellowed zoning maps and handwritten land records at night? It was supposed to be easy money. Quiet. Boring. Maybe even peaceful in a strange, dusty way. But there's nothing peaceful about an endless corridor of metal shelves in a century-old basement where the air feels too heavy, like something's watching you. The walls were rough stone, cold even in summer. Moisture leaked from somewhere behind them. I could hear the occasional drip echo from a hidden source. The flickering fluorescence above buzzed like nervous insects. My little office sat tucked behind 2 locked doors, no windows, just a tiny black and white monitor cycling between 4 grainy camera feeds. That night, the feed glitched every few minutes. No real pattern. Just static, then return. At first, I thought nothing of it. Basements mess with signals. Old wiring. Rats maybe. But then came the paper sound. Not a fall, not a scatter, no, it was distinct. Pages. Turning. Slowly. With purpose. I took my flashlight and walked toward the sound. Past shelf after shelf, the air growing colder, the smell sharper. I swear I started to see my breath. Shelf D17 was where it stopped. And that's when I noticed, all the files that belonged there, birth records from 1879 to 1882, were strewn on the floor like someone had been rifling through them in a frenzy. But the cameras had shown nothing. I rewound the footage, squinting at the monitor until my eyes blurred. No one had walked past. Nothing had moved. The lights blinked again, longer this time. I felt a tug inside my chest, like something invisible had passed through me. A small, hollow whimper echoed far behind me, and for the first time that night, I thought about leaving. But I didn't. I told myself I was imagining things, let paranoia get the better of me. I didn't know it then, but I should have left. I should have run. Instead, I bent down to pick up one of the scattered files, a brittle envelope labeled * Fleming, Walter. Deceased. June 1881, *. There was a note pinned to the document, yellowed and torn, but still legible. * Do not move. Bound to floor. Let rest, *. I dropped it. Literally dropped it like it burned me. My hand started shaking. And in that exact moment, I swear I felt someone breathe behind me. It wasn't just in my head. It brushed my neck. I turned around slowly, and there it was. One drawer of the old card catalog at the far end had slid open on its own. The files inside, perfectly aligned seconds ago, were now fanned out unnaturally. My flashlight flickered again. The walls seemed closer. Tighter. I took a step forward, not because I wanted to, but because something compelled me, not curiosity, not bravery, more like an invisible thread pulling me toward it. I reached the drawer and found a single file folder sitting neatly on top of the others. No dust on it, unlike the rest. It read, * Malcolm Reeve, Watchman, 2020. Found deceased. Archive B2, *. That's when it hit me. I remembered the name. 3 years ago. Guy had a heart attack during the night shift. Or that's what they said. But I always thought it was strange. His body was found right next to shelf D17. Exact same spot I'd just been. No camera footage. No real explanation. Just dead. Staring. Face frozen like he'd seen something worse than death. I was still holding the file when I heard the scream. It didn't echo like it should have. It was flat, like it came from inside my skull. Not a woman. Not a man. Something in between. Something wrong. And suddenly the walls began to creak. Not settle, creak, like a living thing stretching after a long slumber. The metal shelves groaned. Lights overhead flickered into complete blackness, and for several seconds, the only thing I could hear was my own breath. And footsteps. Slow. Coming toward me. I ran. Back through the corridor. Files crunching underfoot. Past my useless office. Slamming the steel door shut behind me. Locked it. Sat in the chair, shaking, waiting for sunrise. But it never came. I checked my phone. 3:15. Checked again 20 minutes later. Still 3:15. The air was growing thicker. The buzzing of the lights turned into whispers. They were behind the walls now. In the vents. I pressed my back against the cold metal cabinet, gripping the flashlight like it could save me. Then I heard my name. Not whispered. Not yelled. It was spoken calmly. By me. The exact tone I use when I answer the phone. Yeah, it's Reeve. Night shift again. I dropped the flashlight. The beam rolled across the room and caught something, someone, sitting at the desk. My desk. It was me. Or someone who looked just like me. Pale. Expressionless. And smiling. It turned toward me without moving its body. Just the head. Mechanical. Twitchy. The smile widened. And then everything went dark. I don't remember what happened after that. They found me the next morning, wandering the parking lot barefoot, talking to myself in a voice that wasn't mine. I haven't gone back. I won't. They offered me therapy, time off, reassignment. But nothing fixes what followed me out of that basement. Because some nights, always at 3:15, my phone rings. No caller ID. Just silence. And a soft static. Then my voice says, "Yeah, it's Reeve. Night shift again." And the line cuts. I've changed numbers. Burned the old phone. Moved states. But last night, in a new city, far away, it rang again. And I answered. The coffee machine doesn't like strangers. I didn't even clock in before something felt wrong. The parking lot was empty except for my rust bucket and that dented white van that's been sitting there for 3 nights in a row, facing the loading dock with its windows fogged up from the inside. It was 2:30 in the morning, and the only sound was the low, sickly buzz of the fluorescent sign flickering Maximart in faded red. I'd done this tech run a dozen times before, reboot the frozen payment terminal near the vending machines in aisle 7, wait for it to load, sign off, done in 10 minutes. But tonight the air tasted metallic, like licking the tip of a 9-volt battery. Inside, it was worse. Freezing, for one, like someone had messed with the thermostat and set it to meet locker. No staff in sight, just rows of silent shelves under the harsh overhead lights that kept humming like dying bees. Something about the rhythm of the hum was wrong. Too slow, too wet. It wasn't until I turned down the vending machine corridor that I noticed it. The lighting glitched. Just that section. One flicker, like a slow blink, and then everything froze. Not just lights, everything. My phone screen went black. The buzz from the lights stopped. Even the low whir of the refrigeration units behind the soda coolers went dead. I stood in a vacuum, like someone had hit pause on reality. Then, click. The coffee machine lit up. Not all the machines. Not the chip one or the soda or the snacks. Just the old industrial coffee unit shoved against the wall next to the janitor's closet, the one that always smelled like burnt sugar and bleach. I swear I've never seen it on before. Its screen glowed a pale green and showed a single line of text. You are a stranger. Go back to your world. It didn't scroll or blink. Just sat there. I blinked and chuckled dryly, half expecting a prank, hidden camera, TikTok crap. But when I reached for the touch screen, the button clicked under my finger like a broken bone snapping into place. The machine groaned. No clunk of coins dropping. No hiss of hot liquid. Just a dull grinding, like a printer choking on ancient paper. Then, with a slow, dusty exhale, it spit out something onto the metal tray. A folder. Brown, thick, brittle at the corners. Covered in dust, like it had been buried. And it had my name. Brian Keel. Written in marker that had faded to a red-brown stain, as if written in diluted blood. Inside, only 3 things. A single sheet with bold block text, date of death, April 21st. Today. A stack of grainy, black and white camera stills, time-stamped for tonight. One showed me parking. Another, walking through the entrance. And then, a shot of me, standing right here, in front of the machine, reaching out for the folder. Only problem, there was no camera here. And in the final image, behind me, just barely visible in the corner, something tall. Something shadow thin. Something not shaped right. I backed up so fast I nearly fell into the snack machine. The lights overhead stuttered again, only this time, they didn't come back on. I couldn't see a damn thing, just the soft, eerie glow from the coffee machine's screen. My breath started fogging, though the air wasn't cold anymore. It was wet. Like being inside a mouth. I pulled out my phone again. Dead. Black screen, unresponsive. I tapped the home button till my thumb hurt. Useless. I turned back to the machine. The folder was still in my hands, heavier now. I flipped through the pages again, frantic. More photos appeared, though I didn't see them before. My old apartment. My parents' house. A girl I dated 10 years ago and haven't thought of since. One photo was torn in half. I recognized the carpet. It was my bedroom. Only the figure in the photo wasn't me. It was wearing my face, but wrong. It was too tall. Limbs slightly too long. Like a person drawn from memory by someone who only half remembered human anatomy. It smiled. The vending machine beeped again. Do not look back. I couldn't breathe. I don't remember turning, but my body did. Some part of me needed to know. Just one look. Nothing was there. Then why was there a reflection? There was a mirror, halfway down the aisle, next to the ice cream freezer. Just a thin sliver, used to watch shoplifters. I saw myself in it. Only I wasn't moving. My reflection stared at me. And smiled. Not the scared, trembling grimace on my actual face. No, this one was grinning. Wide. Delighted. As if it had been waiting for me. I dropped the folder. Ran. Tried every exit. The front door was stuck. Not locked, stuck. Like someone had sealed it shut from the outside with concrete and rust. I kicked it, screamed, used my flashlight. Nothing. No sound outside. When I turned around, all the machines were on now. Humming, vibrating. Lights flashing like some cursed Vegas horror show. Each screen showed the same thing. You are not Brian Keel. I shouted. Cursed. Slammed a fire extinguisher into the wall until my hands bled. I had to get out. Had to. One machine, the soda one, suddenly whirred and dispensed something. Not a can. Another folder. This one had no name. I opened it. Inside was a mirror shard and a printed message, choose who stays. Then I heard footsteps behind me. Soft. Bare. Like skin slapping tile. I ran again, folder under my arm, mirror piece cutting into my fingers. The janitor's closet was unlocked now. I ducked in, slammed the door. Inside was pitch black, but I could still feel light. Like something was glowing from the inside of my head. I checked the folder again. The paper was blank. Until I blinked. Then letters appeared. You were never him. But you can take his place. I started laughing. Not because it was funny, but because I felt something in my chest collapse. Like I understood something awful. Something ancient. Something inevitable. The door behind me creaked. No handle on this side. Then I heard my voice. From outside. Calling. Laughing. Saying my name. They found me, or someone, the next morning, crouched beside the vending machines. Smiling. Holding a cold cup of coffee. No folder. No photos. No sign I'd ever been there. But they say the cameras glitched for exactly 47 minutes that night. And every time I look in the mirror now, I see something behind my shoulder. Smiling. Waiting. And the coffee machine? It only turns on when no one's around. Just for a second. And then it whispers, "Welcome back, stranger." The office windows don't reflect you anymore. It looked like I was falling. But I wasn't. I was standing still, staring at a reflection that didn't belong to me. My body was motionless, arms frozen midair with trembling fingers still hovering over the keyboard. The monitor's glow painted my face a sterile blue, but there was no face in the window opposite me. Only a room from another time, older furniture, muted green walls, cigarette smoke curling in the stagnant air, and blood, slick and black, spreading from a body sprawled on the tile. The worst part? No matter how many times I turned back, the office remained empty, normal, lifeless. Except the window kept showing that cursed scene, and when I blinked, the woman on the floor blinked too. She had my face. It had started so ordinarily, that was the horror of it. I had just wanted to finish the damn deck before morning. The client needed it by 8. Everyone else had left long ago, their footsteps echoing down the hall as they mumbled goodbyes. The security lights clicked on after 10, their pale fluorescence sucking the warmth out of the space. I stayed. I always stayed. Freelance design wasn't forgiving. You either delivered or vanished. Besides, the co-working space had a weirdly cozy silence after midnight, the kind that feels like a soft blanket until it suffocates you. My desk sat by the windows, on the 7th floor of an old brick building in downtown Cincinnati. Across the street, I could see the faded sign of a diner that never closed, its neon flickering like a weak heartbeat. At first, I didn't notice the reflection was wrong. I only realized it when I reached for my coffee and didn't see my hand move in the glass. Just nothing. The chair was there. The desk. The mug. But no me. I leaned in, squinting. The glass shimmered faintly, like it was underwater. And then, just beyond my own desk, a different office appeared. It wasn't mine. Old CRT monitors. Typewriters. Beige wallpaper stained with years of dust and coffee splashes. A stack of manila folders sat where my MacBook should have been. And someone, no, multiple someones, worked silently in that ghost office. A man in suspenders coughed into a handkerchief. A secretary in a pencil skirt typed with urgency. And then the room shifted, they all turned toward the floor. That's when I saw her. A woman, face down, one heel twisted off, her skirt ripped along the seam, blood soaking through her blouse like spilled ink. I spun around in my chair, gasping. But there was nothing. My own office was empty. Clean. Sterile. But my heart kept racing like it knew something I didn't. I went back to the screen. My slides were gone. Instead of logos and product stats, the screen flickered, showing black and white photos. Rows of them. Faces. Some young, some older. Eyes closed. Or wide open in frozen terror. All dead. I didn't recognize any of them. Not at first. Then I saw myself. Near the bottom, tucked between a bearded man with burn scars and a child in pigtails. My photo. Dead-eyed. skin pale, mouth parted like I'd been caught mid-scream. I reached for the trackpad. It didn't respond. The cursor just floated across the images, jerking like it had a mind of its own. I told myself I was overtired, that it was a glitch. Maybe someone had hacked the system. But I didn't believe it. The fear, the real, primal kind, had already started seeping in. I backed away from the monitor, its light casting warped shadows against the window. And that's when I saw her again. Me. Lying there. In the glass. And this time, she opened her eyes. I backed into the hallway, my shoes squeaking on the vinyl floor. It felt wrong, too quiet. The hum of the vending machine down the hall was gone. Even the elevator light was out. I tried my phone, black screen. I tried the emergency call button near the stairwell, no response. The office building had swallowed all sound. But I heard something. Low. Rhythmic. Like typing. Not from my office. From the one next door, which should have been empty since last month. I crept toward it, the heavy quiet pressing on my chest like wet sand. The door was cracked open. Inside, the space looked untouched. Except for one thing. The old IBM computer on the desk was on. Bright green text scrolled across the screen, letters forming a sentence again and again. She's not supposed to be here. She's not supposed to be here. She's not supposed to be here. My breath hitched. The air had a static taste, like breathing inside a broken TV. Then came the sound, not typing, but dragging. Slow. Wet. Like something being pulled across linoleum. From the room with the reflections. I stumbled back into my office. The window was now completely black, like a void sucking light from the space. My reflection flickered in and out, like it couldn't decide if I was real. I slammed the laptop shut. The lights flickered, then died completely. Total dark. Then, the screen turned back on by itself. The photo grid reappeared. And this time, every face was looking at me. They smiled. And screamed. All at once. I think I screamed too, but I couldn't hear it over the noise. Not sound exactly, but pressure, like the room was collapsing inward. I staggered toward the exit, but the hallway was gone. Just endless glass on either side. Rows of windows, stretching forever. Each one showing a different version of the office. Some burning. Some flooded. Some with bodies, familiar bodies. Coworkers. People I saw daily. Now dead. Eyes wide and blank. And me, in every one. I started running. The glass cracked beneath my feet but didn't break. The air thickened with a sour metallic stench, like blood and rust. My heels slipped, catching on invisible seams in the floor. I reached the far wall, but it was just another pane of glass, another reflection. And in it, I saw her again. Not me. Her. The dead woman. She stood up. Her bones cracked like dry twigs. Her mouth opened wider than it should have. Her eyes were too many. She reached for the glass. Reached through it. And touched me. Everything went black. When I woke, the office was silent again. Bright. Empty. Normal. The laptop sat on my desk, open to the final slide of my deck. The cursor blinked. I checked the windows. My reflection had returned. But the photo on my ID badge had changed. It was her face. Not mine. I left without packing. Just walked out. Into the elevator. Into the street. I never came back. But sometimes, when I pass tall glass buildings at night, I don't see myself in the windows anymore. I see her. Smiling. Waiting. And the faces behind her keep multiplying. One day, they'll fill every screen. Every mirror. Every window. And you won't even know you're next. Until the reflections disappear.